If you're thinking about starting a business, you've probably heard the advice that you need to pick one topic or one population or pick a niche in order to be successful. And the truth is that the more specific you can be, the more successful you can be in the end, because your audience or your niche will be able to gravitate towards you and your message. But that can be really hard to do, especially when you've got so many interests and so many skills, and maybe you're a person who considers themselves really creative or multi-passionate. So in this video, we're going to talk about what you can do in order to narrow down to your audience and your niche and find that thing that you can at least start your business with, so that you can get going and be successful ultimately. So if you're the type of person that is really itching to get clear on what your thing is going to be, click that like button. Here we go. Hi, welcome back to Rich Social Worker. I'm Eva Ford, social worker, mindset mentor, and coach. And on this channel, we talk all about money, mindset, and motivation to help you live your richest life. And that usually includes starting or growing a business. And so if this type of content is important to you and you want to learn more, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you can know every time I upload a new video, which is every week. Now, if you are a person that is multi-passionate, or you've got so many things that you're good at, or maybe you're a person that is not sure what you're good at, then this video is for you. And one of the things that I think people get wrong a lot of times is this idea that we need to do something that we love. Now, I'm not saying that I disagree with this idea. I love talking all about money. I love anything that has to do with mindset, but I didn't get here because of knowing what I loved initially. I started Rich Social Worker out of a frustration and out of an actual hate. And what I hated was I hated being broke. I hated feeling like my hands were tied, and I hated feeling like I was stuck and stagnant because of not having money, because I understood that it had to do with mindset, but I didn't know the type of mindset that I needed to have, or the shifts that I needed to make in my mindset to be successful. So the advice that I give a lot of people now is, listen, if you can't get there or figure out what topic you want to focus on, or what audience you really want to talk to or work with, because you're trying to get there from the path of what you love to do, try looking from the perspective of what do you hate, or what grinds your gears, or what really frustrates you. Because likely a lot of times what really stresses you out is going to give you the impetus to do research in that area, or to better yourself in that area. And perhaps you would have gained quite a lot of knowledge because of lack of satisfaction in a particular area. Again, if you can get there from the perspective of what you love, more power to you. But you're probably going to be a person who loves a lot of things. So that's just strategy number one. Now, the second strategy for helping you figure out your thing, or the population that you want to work with, is to think about what is an earlier version of yourself, because likely you are going to want to help someone who was in the same position that you were likely in a month or a year or 10 years ago. And the reason why this is a great strategy to go from is because at this point, you're further along in your journey. You would have learned a lot of lessons. You may have even come up with your own unique solution to solving a problem that an earlier version of you had. And so there are likely thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of earlier versions of yourself out there that could benefit from your knowledge, from your wisdom, and that you could actually help on their journey. Remember that video where I talked about how to position yourself as an expert? Well, at this point in your journey, you would have learned something, you would have been further along than someone else, and that's great because it means that you can provide that expertise. And you only need to be just a few steps ahead of your ideal client or your ideal population. And so if you take this approach and use this strategy as talking to an earlier version of yourself, especially if you've gotten really great results and solutions and you are in a better place now, then that could be your in to identifying your niche and who you want to talk to. Now, the third strategy that I and many other people have used is that whatever focus you choose, whatever you decide on today does not have to be your forever focus. I want you to think about this as an experiment. We're all growing, we're all learning, and I know that a lot of times right out of the gate, we want to get it right, right? Like we look at other people online maybe, and we want to know what our thing is too right now. But if you look back at those journeys of people, it's likely that that's not where they started. They started with, yes, a focus, but they likely changed their focus maybe several times over the course of their business. So you judging yourself on where they are now versus where you are is not a fair assessment. So use this strategy of just recognizing that whatever you choose right now does not have to be your forever focus. And that should be able to give you some freedom, some flexibility, and some permission to just play in the space. And if you are a social worker, this is what we say in school. We say like experiment, work with one population over another, volunteer, use your skills and see what connects for you. You never know. So just know that this does not have to be your forever path. This is just what you need to get started on your journey so that you can ultimately find your thing and be successful. The fourth strategy is actually a strategy I gave you in an earlier video when I told you to start with doing some inventory for yourself. You were going to look at the things that you were naturally interested in, the things that you were naturally good at. You're going to reach out to your friends and your family and maybe even colleagues and get feedback from them on what they thought you might be really good at. If you've done that, if you actually watched that video and you've done that, let me know in the comments what came up for you, because this is also a really great strategy at helping you hone in on your thing. And this is the exact step that I take my clients on in the coaching process as well. So if you're doing this for yourself, that's one step closer to you having that successful business and working with your ideal population. Now, the final strategy is something you're probably already doing, and I want you to look at who you follow online. This could give you a really great clue into what you naturally are good at, or maybe what you have an understanding about that you could share with other people, thereby getting even closer to that ideal audience that you want to talk about in your ideal niche. And I'm not just talking about following as in your friends. I mean people that you do not know, people that don't necessarily know you. What are they talking about and why are you interested in what they're talking about? The goal of all of these exercises is really just to help you narrow down what your natural interests and skills and abilities are. Now, in another video, we're going to talk about how to design your business so that it fits with your ideal life and you do have the freedom and flexibility that I know you crave and desire. I believe you can dream, be, do, or have anything you want, but it starts with your mindset. So make sure it's a rich one. I'll see you in the next video.